humor in police work can go a long way. Humor in police work can go a long way.
Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, I'd like to start out by apologizing to you because these next 5 to 7 minutes of your life you're never going to get back. And I did tear up a little bit with Miss Kelly's speech because I saw my chances fading. But I'll soldier ahead anyway. Humor in police work is really a vital thing. We end up seeing the triumph and the tragedy in ways that you might never imagine. As a young policeman, I racked up a few, shall we say, complaints. Okay, I was a very active guy. I did narcotic work. I was on a tactical team. And I worked in violent crimes. I was, 23 years old, and I was working on homicide cases. So not everybody liked everything that we did, and we sometimes got some complaints. I learned a little bit about some of the humor and about how it can work on diffusing some of our situations. So I thought I was going to start with a couple of jokes, but we'll save them to the end just to see if I can redeem myself with them then. But I wanted to tell you a story about something that happened. Again, I was a field training officer. By the time I was 26, I decided it was time for me to give something back to the department because I felt like I've had all this opportunity in these preceding 4 years, the salty veteran that I was. So I volunteered to be a training officer. Well, they ended up giving me a recruit for a while, and said, who do I? They told me it's somebody named Val. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I've got a housewife. Thinking, oh, this is not going to be really good. Well, Val turned out to be short for Vlad. My friend, I got to be really tight with as years went on, but my first impression, when I first find out again, and they say, you're working with Val. Okay, I'm thinking, well, tell me about Val. And a couple of the coppers say, oh, what a body. I should have really paid attention to the fact that these were women officers that I was friends with that were telling me that. Because when I met Val, he comes in, 26, 27 years old, and he looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. He was about 6 foot tall, muscles on top of muscles. To this day, he still has a 500-pound bench press. But something else about Val was he was a Soviet Jew. I don't know if you know what that means in the 1980s and 90s, but it means that, he didn't have an easy life. So he was pretty tough. He'd immigrated here when he was 14 years old, and to this day, he still speaks with very funny accent, because it doesn't really sound Russian. Again, it sounds kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger. For example, he's a gun guy. I'm a gun guy. He likes to tell me, yo, I got a new gun. He says, I would say Sig Sauer is what the brand is. He couldn't say that. It would come out, Sig Sauer. Sig Sauer. Like, okay, Val, that's great. Come on. He was a guy. He just liked the shiny stuff. Anyway, I'm working with him and he's just full of enthusiasm and laughter. The guy would laugh, but it would come out like, he's sitting there saying, oh man, like I said, he's a great friend now, but imagine my first experiences with him. I'm like, this isn't really great. I can't remember the exact circumstances of the car stop that we did, but I do remember that I was a little bit leery of turning him loose on these utes that we had. It was a car full of, I can't even remember what kind of gangbangers they were. And I don't remember the circumstances. We're talking 28 years ago, so I can't remember the exact circumstances, but we were stopping the car. It was responsive to a call. But take it from the viewpoint of the 6 guys in the car. They're seeing, myself and then Val get out of the car. We're coming up, and these guys were again, I can't remember if they were Hispanic or black, but they're thinking we're stopping them just to pick on them because of their minority status. And I could see that from their viewpoint, but I was getting pushback from them. However, Val, being his first traffic stop, I'd like, just hang back. Be like the academy. You're the cover guy. I'm the guy that's going to talk, okay? You're the cover guy. Okay, so I go up and I start talking to him. Guys, just for all of our safety, let me see your hands. Again, I'm getting pushback. Suddenly, from the other side of the here, you in the car! Put your hands up to the dashboard, do it now! They looked at me, what? You, in the car! Put your hands up to that one! Do it now! They looked at me and said, is he for real? I said, move over. I'm putting my hands on the dashboard. Little bit of a tense moment there, broken up a little bit by my reaching in to put my hands on the dashboard. And we ended up having a good shot. Guys, we got a robbery, whatever the circumstances were. We explained it to them. They ended up walking away saying, oh my gosh, I was just stopped by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I got to avoid the potential for a complaint or a beef by having a little humor with these guys. All in all, it worked out well. And it's, again, when I was starting to learn that you had to have some humor within police work. Just to wrap up with a couple of quick jokes for you. Why did God make policemen? God made policemen so that firemen could have heroes too. And my brother, that is one of my fireman brothers, would have to come back with something like, what do we have in common when you get two guys together and one's a policeman and one's a fireman? So you say, no, I don't know. They both want to be firemen. Again, summing up, in life as in police work, it's really important for you to have humor because it gets you through both the triumph and the tragedy. And Mr. Contest Chair, thank you for the opportunity. And again, I apologize for the last 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you, Bill.